We'll call this meeting to order, the Blackhawk County Board of Supervisors for June 5th, 2018. Roll call, Mr. Beater.
Leyland.
Here.
Little.
Here.
Magsman.
Here.
Schwartz.
Here.
White.
Here. Have a moment of silence to reflect on our actions of the day. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have the agenda received as proposed or as amended?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Public comments. Anybody from the public like to comment on anything other than what's on the agenda? Next is years of service, the employees with 20 or more years of service. Mr. Veeder?
Yes, this morning we have 3 awards to give. The first is for Michael Oldenberger for 20 years of service from the County Engineer's Office. And Kathy will pass that along. Thank you. And from Country View with 30 years of service is Michelle Pendleton. So, would you like to take that to her? Thanks very much. And with an astounding 40 years of service from the Auditor's Office, Ellen Steffen.
Wow.
Wow.
Congratulations. You started grade school.
Thank you for the 40 years.
Yeah. Want to thank those employees for their years of service to the county. Next is claims and payments. This is a resolution for payments for the county bills.
The county expenditures this week total $904,571.18, 904,571.18. Approximately $617,000 is the engineer transferring their funds to the farm to market account. Kathy sent you an email about that, and $150,000 for some CIP projects. And away.
Move to. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? This is a resolution. Please answer as your name is called.
Leyland.
Yes.
Little.
Yes.
Magsman.
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. Expenditures for Country View.
Country View's expenditures this week total $50,501.93, 50501.93.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion on this item. This is a resolution. Please answer as your name is called.
Little.
Yes.
Magsman.
Yes.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Leyland.
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. Receive project updates from department heads and elected officials. Morning, Kathy.
Morning.
Good morning, Board. Kathy Nicholas, County Engineer. We do have several operators who will begin mowing on the gravel road system this week, and we are just finishing up mowing on the paved road system, and we will immediately restart again on that process. We have received several complaints over the weekend, the past few days, just about grass being too high at some intersections. So we are trying to get that under control. Our bridge crew is still working up on Marquee Road. We are replacing culverts for next year's resurfacing project. It's been a series of 4 or 5 culverts that have been replaced. The road's been open and closed, and it will be closed, we believe, one more final time for the last pipe, and then Aspro should be coming in to do some patching, and then the road will be reopened until this fall when we do some work on the bridges on that road. I also wanted to let you know about a bridge in the west portion of the county. It's a county line bridge. We share the bridge with Butler County. The bridge is currently posted at 7 tons. This is a bridge over the West Fork of the Cedar. It's posted at 7 tons. Our operators have observed quite a number of loads that are too heavy, that exceed the 7 tons. Gravel trucks, for example, propane trucks, we've received calls from the neighbors to the bridge. So we are contemplating closing that bridge until we can get it repaired. We are hoping to get it repaired this year yet because it is an important route over there. There's not a lot of good detour routes over there. So I will probably be asking for you to close that bridge on next week's agenda. We will be getting more information to you later this week on that. And then, like I said, we do have every intention of getting it repaired this summer, just depending on weather and how our workload goes.
So you'd anticipate it being closed for several months?
Yes. Yes, 2 to 3 months is what we anticipate right now. But we'll get more information to you in the next couple days on that closure. And then finally, I will be on vacation for the next several weeks, and Ryan Brennan will be here in my place. Can I answer any questions?
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you.
Any other department head or elected officials? Moving on to minutes approved for May 29th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Hearing times, the 9:05 hearing, bid opening for purchase of 1 pickup truck. That'll be later in the agenda. Consent agenda by resolution.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion on any of the items.
I mentioned item B2, is the evacuation plan has been in the works for several months. Been put together by ENERCOG and was funded through emergency management. And it's an evacuation plan for the emergency responders. So they have a plan that they can go by if there's a specific disaster within Black Hawk County. So that plan is available for anybody who would like to read through it.
Thank you, Mr. Maxman. I have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion? This is a resolution. Please answer as your name is called.
Magsman,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
Little,
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. Next is reports. This is an update by Ben Delegardelle doing business as Urban Services, Washburn Sanitary Sewer System. Morning, Ben.
Good morning. Good to see you. It's been a couple months. I'm going to update you on 3 months worth. I have the summary and documents today for May, so I'll be doing March, April, and May. Think way back to March. It's pretty quiet. We monitored flow and cell levels. We had 4 service calls and 2 locates. Did the monthly operating report for February. And we did check half the system. We didn't get to repair any of the things that we have documented because the April weather screwed us up kind of on when we were available and nobody wanted to be in the snow. So that was March. Any questions for March? April, monitor flow and cell levels. We started our lagoon discharge out of cell 2 and 3, so we performed a drawdown sample 2 weeks prior to that as required, and then we did a sample 3 days after starting the discharge. Did the MOR for March. We did a little bit of rodent control in the lagoon banks. We have a badger that's invasive to the lagoon bank, which we don't want to let that go because it could be disastrous for the lagoon bank. We had some streaking gophers that they are chasing to try to get, so we're trapping both of those at this time. We were successful in April. This continued through May. Don't know anything about going forward in June, but we're taking care of the problem as we see fit. For April, we had 8 locates and 3 service calls. Another quiet month other than doing our normal discharge every 6 months. So any questions about April?
You said you did sampling.
I'm sorry.
You said you did sampling.
Yep.
What was the result of that sampling?
Everything's coming back good. As far as our sampling goes, we do an influence sample, which is the incoming water every quarter. Those weren't in these. We're still going to do that in June yet. For the sampling we did, the 2 week prior is from the cell 2 and 3, the water we plan to discharge. It gives us enough time to see those results so that our water is conforming to what we are allowed to discharge for our NPDES permit. So that conformed. We started discharge, don't know if I had the date, I believe it was the 16th or 17th. We were allowed to start on the 15th, but I did the sample on the 2nd, so I had to wait till the 16th or 17th because it's a 2-week time period. So 3 days following that, we do a sample from the discharge at the river, which it was flooded with water at the time. The water had come up over that portion, so I actually do it at the lagoon on the outfall where it goes into the pipe. That sample also came back good. So we're on good footing with that. The end sample, we're done with discharge now in May. So the sample that I took in May was also conforming.
Thank you.
For May, we continued to discharge. It was started in April. We did a sample 5 days prior to the end of the discharge as required. After the discharge was completed, turned the valves off. We exercised the valves in the lagoon system, and then we started our equalization. So water will be going from cell 1 to the cell 2 and 3. It will become level. We will close that valve off, and then it will have another 180 days before we discharge water. We did more rodent control. We did do some grounds maintenance. I noticed that on our discharge pipes, the water's coming towards the pipes as it's leaving the lagoon. It tends to bring sludge towards that direction, so there's kind of a mound of sand, silt, and sludge that is under the pipe. So I spent quite half of a day maybe over there shoveling silt and sludge away from that so that it has a clear exit on our next discharge. We had 7 locates and 1 service call. In May, we did start the equalization. That's ending here in June. I'm going to go turn that off today. It's all equalized. So that's basically all I have for May. Any other questions on that? Not done with my presentation, but I wanted to tell you that we have 8 rebuilt pumps ready to go. 2 of those are the Extreme series pumps, and I'm not sure, not everyone is familiar with this, but when the system started in the year 2000, we had, ironically, series 2000 pumps, and we used those up until around 2010. The manufacturer started making an Extreme series pump, which is the only one you can purchase brand new now. They've ended the purchase of the 2000 series, so we had been buying Extreme brand new pumps. I was presented with the opportunity to have new motors purchased and do a refurbish. We've been buying those. I think we've purchased 10 of those now in that way, which is a little more than half the cost of a brand new Extreme, but we get all brand new wear parts using old parts that are laying around that are non-wear parts, such as the top housing. Obviously, we buy new seals for the top housing, but all the wear parts are new, so I consider that just as good as an Extreme brand new pump. So we have the 2 Extremes that are rebuilt. We haven't really pulled too many of those out. But the old 2000 series, we have 6 of those available that are rebuilt. And then we have 2 more that are to be rebuilt that we don't know if they're going to survive yet. So we have that dollar amount where over a certain repair price, we will basically remove it from service. So we have to look at those yet. I did bring a invoice or proposal for 5 new pumps. We're at 8 now, possibly 10. I have to complete the spring, early summer pump checks, and I usually end up changing 3 to 5 pumps. Out of those 3 to 5, we could have all of them get rebuilt successfully, or none of them could be rebuilt successfully, depending on the condition of the pumps. We run into issues that could have been there for a long time when we do these pump checks, but I definitely don't want to bypass doing the pump checks and changing what needs to be changed there. So if you guys feel comfortable buying 5 more pumps, that would bring us up to 13 to 15. And then once pump checks are done, we'd be in the 10 to 12 range where I see us at that time, without actually knowing what's going to happen on the pump checks. I think that's all the notes I had. So any questions on all that? It was kind of a lot of information. No?
Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
Thank you. Next, this is a motion that the recorder's report on fees collected from Sandy L. Smith, County Recorder, for the period April 1st, 18 to April 30th, 18.
Second.
Received and placed on file. Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Contracts and agreements. This is a resolution that the agreement between Blackhawk County and County Social Services in the state of Iowa for reimbursement for the judicial hospitalization referee for services performed from July 1st, 18 to June 30th, 19 in the amount of $50,487.34 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Anybody want to?
Good morning.
Morning.
Linda Nilgis, District Court Administrator. I just wanted to reach out to all of you and say that this arrangement with Diane Larson has worked well for a number of years. We'd like to see it from the state's perspective continue. I think from your side too, it saves a lot of money. Diane actually goes out to the facilities to meet with her clients. If we didn't have her in place, that would mean that Pierce would have to transport them in. It'd probably create quite a few delays in our hearings and such, which would equate to more days in the hospital for these folks. So I think from a financial perspective, it's a good arrangement, and would like to see it continue.
So this is a state employee?
She is like a contracted. She's not actually, she doesn't get benefits and such from the state. So she is an attorney. She has to be an attorney to fill the position, so.
She do this full time?
No, she does it part-time. It's considered part-time, but I think it's pretty much full-time for her. Yeah, it takes up a lot of her time and energy. And she is very good at it. She's very efficient in what she does. So she's been doing it for a number of years.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Linda. I have a motion and a second on the floor. This is a resolution. Please answer as your name is called.
Schwartz?
Yes.
Leyland?
Yes.
Little?
Yes.
Magsman?
Yes.
White?
Yes, resolution adopted. This is a resolution that the contract between Blackhawk County and Klusner Construction, Farley, Iowa, for fiscal year 19 crack seal, slurry level, and bridge joint clean and seal at various locations in Blackhawk County in the amount of $50,194.20 be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion on this? Kathy?
Yeah, this is, we did receive 2 bids on this, on our crack ceiling. We have used Klusner before, and they were the low bid, and just, again, the importance of crack sealing is to keep water out of our pavement systems, out of the roadway systems, and that does give us a longer life for our pavement structures. So I'd recommend that you sign the contract.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second on the floor. Any further discussion? This is a resolution. Please answer as your name is called.
Leyland?
Yes.
Little?
Yes.
Magsman?
Yes.
Schwartz?
Yes.
White?
Yes, resolution adopted. Next is a resolution that the bid received from Young Plumbing and Heating, Waterloo, Iowa, with the bid of $28,420 for chiller parts replacement at Country View be approved as recommended by Carol Laurie, Country View Administrator.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second. Any discussion? Carol, do you want to expound on this?
Good morning, Board. Carol Laurie, Provisional Administrator, Country View. What we have on the agenda is replacement of an electrical board that has failed and also a compressor that has failed. We currently have 2 large chillers, and this encompasses one of those chillers. The compressor has not been working for a period of time, and they have been able to bypass that. However, the recommendation is that both of these items be repaired. This actually serves as a backup and allows the other chiller to not have to work so hard. I've asked Rory to explain it a little bit more in detail for you.
Good morning, Board. Rory Gibbing, Maintenance Superintendent. Yeah, this particular chiller actually serves for roughly half of the facility. This is a train chiller. This particular chiller was installed, according to my notes, back in 1988, so it is 30 years old. Typically, I would look at a unit like this and strongly look at replacing the unit, but in the situation that we're in, with this potential failure at any moment, could put half of that facility down. So that's where we looked at this. We looked at replacing the control board at first, found out that they no longer make those control boards, so consequently we have to replace the whole controller. That's where this cost comes from, as well as the fourth compressor. We may be able to get by without that fourth compressor, but in the event that in the extreme heat, that fourth compressor then would be called for. So unfortunately, in a situation like this, typically with the age of the unit, I would make a recommendation to replace the whole unit, but in this case, I think this is in our best interest just to get this back up and going for the residents at Country View.
Thank you, Rory.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I have a motion and a second on the floor with no further questions. This is a resolution. Please answer as your name is called.
Little,
Yes.
Maxman,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. This is a resolution at the amendment to the minutes of Board of Supervisors meeting May 29, 2018 to include a second bid from Murphy Tractor and Supply for a John Deere motor grader in the amount of $298,000 be approved as Altoffer Incorporated, 2600
So
6th
moved.
Street,
Second.
Cedar Rapids. Moved and seconded. This resolution, please answer your names. Oh, Kathy, you want to expound on this?
I was just going to say that our specifications do allow for multiple bids in one envelope. When we stood up here last week and opened and read the bids, we did not realize that there were two bids in the one envelope.
Thank you. This resolution, please answer your name is called.
Maxman,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
Little,
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. This is a resolution that the lowest reasonable bid received from Murphy Tractor and Equipment Company, Waterloo, Iowa, bid opening May 29, 905, in the amount of $285,000 from be approved.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion.
Yes, historically, we have received bids from John Deere and Caterpillar or Altorfer. We have typically received 770 John Deeres or 772 series John Deeres. We did receive, that was the high bid last week. Several years ago, John Deere improved the size and the horsepower ratings of the 672 machine. And so it is much more comparable machine now to what we have received in the last 8 to 10 years. So by improving, making the machine larger, over the last several years, it is we feel it's a comparable machine to what we've received. I'm recommending that we take the low bid, and that is for the 672 John Deere machine, motor grader, and that you approve the bid, and we can move ahead to contract with Murphy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have a motion and a second on the floor. Any discussion?
I'll just say that it's always great when we can support a local economy by purchasing equipment that has components made right here in Blackhawk County.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? This resolution, please answer as your name is called.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Leyland,
Yes.
Little,
Yes.
Maxman,
Yes.
White.
Yes, resolution adopted. Next is a 9:05 hearing. It is now 9:24 for opening bid for pickup truck for the county engineers department. Motion to receive and place on file proof of publication.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Motion to close the hearing after all written comments are received. Any written comments?
No, sir.
So moved.
Any oral comments? Moved and seconded. All in favor, aye.
Yes,
Aye.
sir.
Opposed, motion carried. Bids to be received, open and read. Bid deadline 4 o'clock yesterday. All received before 4 o'clock?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. 4 bids.
Yes.
What's this,
Expected
what's this
estimate.
for? I know it's a truck, but what kind?
So this is a truck that would be used by our bridge crew. They're able to keep their supplies, their welding torches on the truck, on the back end of the truck. There are different tool chests, there are different pockets or carrying places for the different types of gases that we use for the welding machine.
Is this part of the bid?
Yes, this is supposed to be a complete truck. We are able to receive the truck, and it is furnished to our specifications. Okay, the first bid comes from Dan Deary Motors, Waterloo, Iowa. $68,391, 68,391.00. The second bid comes from Don's Truck Sales Incorporated, Fairbank, Iowa. $67,975, 67,975.00. The next bid comes from McGrath Ford Fleet and Commercial, Cedar Rapids, Iowa. $62,982, 62,982.00. And the last bid comes from Rydell of Independence, Iowa. $63,469.25, 63,469.25.
Motion to place that in file.
Said that, excuse me, that Rydell bid was from Independence. It states here on San Martin Drive in Waterloo.
Yeah, Marge just put on the sheet that you have in front of you where we send
Send it to.
the proposals to, and then we actually received it from the Independence dealer.
Thank you.
Do I have a second on the,
Yep. Second.
moved and seconded? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Reports or information from the board?
I'll just take the opportunity to wish my father a happy 70th birthday. I know he'll be rushing to YouTube to watch this meeting, and so I'll be heading back to Dubuque to celebrate with him tonight.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. We are adjourned.
Have a good day, Sue.